Been a hell of a ride so far, John. TNC, you were playing devil's advocate. You were kind of saying Boom had a pretty solid draft, and I do agree with you on that. It does feel like they already have the answers towards this PO. I think Tsunami pointed it out. Yeah, you're against the Luna. You've got a DP who can be quite annoying as well with the silence and the Crypt Swarm. On top of that, you've got a Puck to hold you down. Do you think Dreamsaw can work around these things, John?
It's going to be tough. He's going to need some quick timings here. Smoke and smoke, though. Wrap around here. Nice ward coming out from TNC. So if it breaks on the low ground, Boom could be in an awkward spot. In fact, if it breaks under the ward, it's just bad.
Hide, he's going to break the smoke. Everyone's hiding, no one within vision, and now they show up. Surprise, surprise, Boom. They're going to go after Hyde, but no Tim's now. He's the one in trouble. Who gets the first blood? The orb is not going to hit, but Hyde, he is going to drop as they keep the chase up onto Tim's. The Lion, he's still alive. Earth spike down. Tim's is fine. He'll run out of there as now the rest of TNC here to back up their teammate. They'll go after Kezcute, but Boom, they will hug the tier 1 tower. First blood does go the way of TNC. That Bok is the one to pick it up on the Death Prophet. TNC, they are not going to stick around for the bounty, but they should still be able to secure a 3-for-1 on the bounties anyway.
Yeah, it's still going to feel great for TNC. Really good start for themselves there. And this should lead to some early gold injections, especially for Bok. Like, this is accelerating his Null and Bracer buildup. So he's going to be a bit tankier in the offlane with that slightly earlier timing. Always great to see on that DP. And of course, that was a one lane for TNC in game 2. That didn't feel amazing. I mean, they got 2 kills, but they never managed to hit the stride with Bok's Leshrac. So we'll have to see if the DP changes that. We're taking a look at mid. Mikato versus Armel. Leshrac versus Puck for now. It's pretty solid of a lane. We have seen Leshracs actually win out and bully out the Puck in this matchup. So far, it's rather even, but I think by the second or third wave, that should start to shape up. Lesh, of course, just having a little bit more burst damage on hand. You do have to land your split Earth, but the tendency is to kind of stick around the creep wave anyway. You should be able to snipe a couple hits onto Armel, unless he just plays ultra-conservative from the back.
So we'll have a look at the bot lane as well, John. You've got a bit of a chase going on here between Boomy and Hyde. Hyde does go ahead and take the creep wave away, but loses the range creep. Gonna bring that over to the FBZ, I believe, on that Mars, and to allow him to get the gold and XP for that level 2, plus the soul ring that he desperately wants. Unfortunately, though, it looks like they are going to kind of miss connecting both creep waves now, so they don't quite get the creep equilibrium to go their way. Bit unfortunate that Woomy Hyde has to continue kind of running in circles until the next creep wave comes around, but that does mean Boomy can really start harassing them quite heavily. This is a very awkward scenario now from Boom. Is FBZ going to try and avoid the Centaur? Meanwhile, Hyde, he's still juggling the creep wave, and it will eventually pay off. Had to be the hard way.
It doesn't feel great for Hyde. He only has that salve to stay in this lane. He doesn't have any tangos left, so, or any tangos at all, so he's going to be in a really tricky position. Does commit the salve, will ferry out tangos, but Boomy's already going to be feeling pretty great here. Just needs to clear out the camp, leave it unblocked for the next minute, and then he can start playing tag again. This has given Gabby a ton of space, though. 11 CS, almost as much as her mid. That's pretty much a perfect start for your safe laner here.
Definitely a cause of concern for Boom. We should have a look at the last lane we haven't spoken about yet, and that is going to be the top lane, where you'll see Dreamsaw and Kezcute against Tims and Bok once again. Now, last time around, this top lane went pretty darn poorly for Boom Esports at the start. Saw Dreamsaw dying twice in the turret lane. In fact, hold that thought, because mid lane, Armel's dropping low now, and they might just be able to get him. No, the lightning strike. He phase shifted it off.
It's one of those things with a Puck, right? Like, you do have a lot of damage on hand for Mikato, but the Puck does have several ways of dodging that out. So Mikato misses out an opportunity, but that is forcing Armel to play really safe here.
Easy.
He does not have to drop the... Ooh.
Oh, that's a really good start for TNC now. Gabby finding a kill for himself. He's still got that perfect CS, by the way, John. He is still matching Armel's CS in the mid lane, plus the kill he just got. I don't know if he's actually missed a creep yet. But Boom, they can't do anything about it. They really can't.
I mean, it's a dual melee lane up against dual range. This is why the Mars clock is feeling a bit awkward here. Normally, if it's a mix, a melee plus range lane you're up against, you kind of feel fine as a clock because you can harass a melee guy out, but you're not finding those openings. You can't really play with your battery assault cogs, you can't really line up for the spear, and they're just doing a great job. I mean, Boomy's micro is just so on point. He always gets these nice camps, gets the Hadouken creep next, good regen on hand to sustain the lane as well. It's harder to really zone them out here.
Oh, in the Roshan pick, Kescute. Oh, he has the Icarus Knight, but the silence is there in time from Armel, and he'll take the kill. They take the water rune away from Armel, but he gets a kill, gets a bounty rune to boot. No problems here for our mid-puck.
It's shaping up quite nicely. Despite that early aggression coming out from Makato, Armel's not really being stopped from finding his own farm, and having a kill under his belt is going to feel good. He even kind of equals out the EXP despite leaving that lane for a bit. So if you're not getting anything major yet from Mikato, we will have to eye if he commits for a bit more in Diabolic Edict to get a mid-push. But so far, things are looking great for TNC. 3-0, 2K lead at 4-5 minutes in. That's pretty big for this early on. It just goes back to how perfect these lanes are. 28 CS on Gabby, 24 for Bach, 23 for Armel. They're way beyond most of the cores on Boom, at least a creep wave above.
Imisol, he's not able to match the CS whatsoever either, John. Like, he's at 17-1 now. Literally about 12 CS behind Gabby. You know, with a Luna, with the farming mechanism she does have with those glaives, it's going to be very hard to keep up as it is, as FBZ now is going to be enchanted up, chased down. Body blocks are very nice from Boomy, but he does have to back his hide. Will interrupt. There's no regen on either of these heroes from Boom. Means FBZ is going to have to bring some out. A bit of time though, in this bot lane, it's been a real problem for Boom Esports already. It just seemingly gets worse every time we look at it.
And it's scary to think what Gabby can do with his farm, and they're trying again on FBZ.
He just bought a salve as well, FBZ. He doesn't want to dive right now. He will end up getting a salve and survive. In fact, Boomy now gets caught out. Hyde getting a bit of revenge, but on the other side of the map, Tim's also picks up Kescute. You have support kills going on across the map at the moment. Still in the favor of TNC by 1k net worth lead, though. Still a very close matchup.
Look at these stacks built up by Tims. It's always the same story. They get Radiant, they play around the triangle, they build amazing amounts of stacks, and Boom is just not able to contest. There's no ward this time around as well to watch that. They did manage to take that out, so TNC is just going to be able to build up this farm advantage. You're not seeing the same stacks coming out from Boom for their part. I think some pings are coming out to maybe start to build up, but this is going to impact them hard. Because Armel gets access to these early double, triple stacks, they can start stacking for the Luna afterwards at a much earlier point, and Gabby's farm can also accelerate at a good time. So lots of good things happening for TNC early on. Again, maintaining that 2k lead we were seeing earlier. Hyde does get some pretty decent mid lane wards, but it's not really able to watch the farming spots. And TNC's own ward on this ramp, just seeing Hyde's movement, spotting out any sort of rotations coming through, just keeps them so protected. You can see TNC, Bach has his EXO. As said in draft, he can dictate when the team groups around him. They're going for that top push.
Absolutely. You love to see it as soon as they hit that level 6 mark. No waiting around. You have the Enchantress as well, which just makes it so much easier to get this tower down. And Dark Troll Summoner, one of the better neutrals to take, I'd say, for the Enchantress is now Kescute. Forced to dive away. He knows he can't defend this. That'll be the tier 1 top tower going down. It's a really nice setup for TNC, because now they can go into the mid lane. Once that 10-minute siege creep spawns up, and they can just go for another tower. You'll have the EXO up at the perfect time as well. So really nice timing from TNC.
And it's super awkward for Boom. They don't have the same push potential just yet. I mean, they do have Edict they can commit from Mikato, but he doesn't really have a lane he can shove in. Mid is a bit tough to try to commit. Bot lane, Gabby's super farmed up, and it doesn't feel like they're really eyeing some tier 1 opportunities on Boom, and that's going to hurt them. If they allow TNC to keep going for these objectives without trade, you're going to start to run up of map space to get farm on Dreamo Cell, to get farm on FBZ, and these heroes do need items to have some impact, especially that Mars. You want that quick blink Yules, but That's a long ways off here for FBZ.
Execute again, forced to dive away top lane. And TNT already invading the Dive jungle. Not giving any space over. Boom Esports, they want to start kind of smothering them and choking them out as now Dream Coil's there. Armel, there's no dive anyway to try and get out of this. So Armel, he just secure a nice easy kill for himself. Second of the game for him. And look at that net worth board. Top 3 cores, all on the side of the Radiant.
That's pretty bad news for Boom. Like, you have a Luna off to this good of a start compared to your PL. The PL just doesn't keep farm in the same way. Like, you can run around camps nice, you can manage your Phantom Rush, but it just doesn't clear the camps as quick. And that is something to worry about. They do at least find a tier 1 bot, considering that extended period where TNC's just not there. They might catch Bok out as well.
Hey, Arena down, nice spear. Makoto, he'll have the follow-up damage, and that should be a nice kill onto the DP. It's what you want to start seeing from Boom Esports. They've got to really try and take advantage of these powerful spells they do have to throw out every time they're off cooldown, and that's exactly what they do.
It's a really important kill as well to feed towards Makoto, as he wants to hit this timing with that Hood of Defiance and potentially the Eternal Shroud down the line. So it's going to give him more durability up front, allow him to join his Mars in a much more aggressive position there down the line. And that should enable more opportunities for Boom to look to play fast, right? Like, they can time themselves around Arena, and fairly soon the Egg, once Kezcute gets enough levels, that's when you should start to see some of these bigger commitments from Boom. But
Hyde's going to be there to break the smoke. This isn't actually too bad, because if Hyde wasn't around the clockwork, it would have been Dreamer Soul getting caught. So definitely a nice kind of tank of the gank. However, Dreamer Soul, he went into the triangle, but that's not safe. TNC are going to try and bully him back towards the fountain. And while that's happening mid lane, they pop the Exo. They're going to apply the tier 1 pressure. TNC right now, they're moving way too fast for Boom Esports. They don't have what it takes at the moment to really react to this. Siege creep up. Exo's there. They can't defend. They're going to lose their jungle so early on.
You can see TNC just set to take out some of these camps. There's her first pause in the series. We haven't had that in a while. Did call
You
it.
talked about it.
Did say it.
Yeah,
it's Merienda
what you
time.
said, John. Merienda.
It's Merienda time. It's Boom pausing. So maybe they're grabbing a couple of donuts. We saw that in our last interview. Donuts in the background. Having a bit of an afternoon refill, as it has been a slugfest of a series. Not quite the longest one we've had. In fact, not even hitting the 60-minute mark, which is, I think, we all appreciate. And we see our admins asking, you're not going to admit to it, but we know it's donuts.
Well, Nico's just making sure. Just no donuts until game 3, please. What's Tsunami doing on the screen?
Oh, goodness.
Oh, goodness me. Shout out to our producer. Entertaining producer. Got it.
Thank you, Pitting.
I thought to myself yesterday, John, after that interview we did, we're like the worst panelists I've ever personally seen. Like, I asked a question that didn't even matter to FBZ. You started asking about donuts. Tsunami was the only one that asked questions that were relevant. We're terrible.
Mike, you say worse. I strive to be even worse than that. So, yeah, you measure your words. It only goes down from there, Mike. I'm trying. We'll try.
We'll try our best. Get your hopes up too high. They need to get their hopes up a little higher here, John. 2k net worth behind. Tier 1, mid and top already gone. Things are looking rather bad for them at the moment. You see Dreamer Soul on that PL of that bot lane. He's kind of forced to go to the more dangerous parts of the map now. Try and farm up as the rest of Boom, they've smoked up. On that bot side, they're going to try and re-engage into this Radiant jungle and give a bit of space over to Dreamer Soul. Amel, he's hanging around. It could be a very prime target, but FBZ, he's going to get a nice initiation. They've got to wait for the hook shot and they get it. Hyde into the cogs, and the spear should be more than enough to kill off this puck. It feels like that's exactly what Boom needed.
That's a really big kill. Surprised Armel didn't bail out. Like, the smoke broke under a ward. I felt like he might have had enough time, but maybe just right below that tree line. So just outside of vision when the smoke broke, he managed to catch the slipperiest target. Like, they have to actually start the fights that way. It has to be the hook shot, because they have no other really reliable stun to catch a puck. So the pressure is definitely there on Hyde. They get the biggest kill they could ask for outside of Luna, and they managed to give themselves a little bit more breathing room, but that lead is still being built up by TNC. Mike Gabby clearing out the Ancient stacks, still uncontested in the triangle. There's still a lot more to worry about for Boom. They might be able to play a little bit more once this Diffusal's done on Dreamocell, 2 parts away, so it's not too far off. And again, they still have Egg and Arena ready to go if they want to force a bigger engagement.
They are more than happy to take their time. Not trying to rush for more fights or engagements. They do have the arena up, and now FBZ's got the Yule Scepter up, so you have a lot of setup on the side of Boom. Great team fight. I think right now they'd much prefer to just find those solo pickoffs. You can see they haven't really been alone apart from that one death on Armel at the bot lane. They show up in the mid lane now. Box got Exorcism if they need it. They're going to smoke up. They'll try to take advantage of that. They're going to run into the whole team of Boom if they're not careful. Really what they want is 2 heroes. Smoke not broken yet. They scouted them out. Kodo, Hyde, FBZ, so close they could smell them right now. Is FBZ gonna break the smoke? They'll pop the X-Limit on Ice Hook Shot. Hyde gonna try and disrupt. Is FBZ, he's still perfectly fine. He'll turn around with the arena, and he's going to run after Tims with the finger. It comes out in time. No egg committed either by Keskute. He's trying to back out of there. There's now Makoto. He gets chased down. Keskute, he's gonna try and run. He already committed the Icarus dive. Looks like he is kind of screwed. His courier goes down, and Bok will finish off the kill into the tier 2 top tower. Kind of shocked they never really tried to commit the egg there.
It's just a bit awkward. I think the arena went off at a pretty good angle as well. Like, it didn't catch the Luna, but I don't think they expected the Luna to wrap around from the north side. And they would have had a pretty good setup for that egg. Miss an opportunity, 4K lead all of a sudden for TNC, and that was just pretty well played. I think Gabby just popping in with the Eclipse just caught them way off guard. And the damage output of the Luna at this point, you know, level 2 Eclipse up, a level 3 Lucent Beam up, it's not something you can just shrug off. So TNC is feeling a lot better for themselves. Only benefit for Boom is that Dream Assault's on the opposite side of the map. So your one big core is farming his win condition up, Diffusal Blade up on RPL. But look at that disparity, Mike. Dream Assault's at 5.9k net worth. Bok is at 6.7, or Luna's at 8.9. There's a lot of catching up this PL has to do.
I'll have a lot of catching up. Going for that Hood of Defiance next, just to have that magic immunity. It's against the draft of TNC, it is going to pay off for sure, as well, it looks like we caught out Phoenix Keskute. He will at least force the Dream Call to be expended. So you've got that going for you if you're Boom. Now you've got a blink up on Tims. Just on the courier. They may be willing to go for another pickoff with that blink reveal. You won't need the coil as long as you get in with the Hex Earth Spike.
Yeah. It's pretty scary. I don't think committing Dream Coil feels bad for Armel, all things considered. Like, he just wants to find kills, go back to farming, finish up the travels into the blink, and just kind of go from there. That's when you really start to think about when you commit the Dream Coils. For now, it's just farming. Just accelerate the farm. Blink is up. So he opts to bypass travel chasing down mid.
Nice Earth Spike Tims. He's going to set up. They've got the follow-up Hex. Eclipse on cooldown for another 3 seconds. They won't be able to abuse that. And now Hyde gets in with the hook shot. It's only going to be onto Boomy, but it's a good start as now the Exorcism block wants to try and turn it around. There is the egg as well with the arena. They can't take it down in time. It should be able to explode, but doesn't matter. FBC, he's going to be able to get it up there just in the nick of time as Gabby is the one to drop. And now Bok goes down. The egg saves the day. FBC somehow gets out with a slither of HP. And they are into the mid-tier 1 tower.
That is big. That's what we were looking for. The arena egg combo in a very big and meaningful way. Trapping that Luna. No Eclipse. Made it super awkward. And Armel was so far away. Like, he was farming bot. He went back to base. He wasn't there in time for that fight. That might have been a bit better if he had travels. Like, lower cooldown TP might have helped the cause and could have gotten there in time, but just a bit too slow in the puck, and without the puck, they miss out on a lot of damage. They've invested a ton on Armel. Now the use... Oh, doesn't land. but you can see the pressure coming through from Boom. They find the mid-tier 1, they open up the bot jungle a bit more, they protect their triangle area by taking away that TP smoke point, and they can start to breathe a little better. 2K lead still remains for TNC though, and for their part, that was a fight they took without waiting for Gabby's BKB. He's pretty close to it, just really lacking the gold for the Ogre Axe into the recipe, and it won't take too long for Luna to hit those spikes. So once you do have that BKB on Luna and on Bok on the DP, they can kind of take those fights better. Arena's not going to be a factor, Leshrak's not going to be a factor, so you just immediately take out two big tools that Boom has been using well to win these engagements.
Top lane, Tim's being caught out by FBZ. It's a nice setup there with the Yules into the arena and Spear. Like, you may have not even required the arena to be dropped, but I suppose it's just in case. Boom, they won't be looking for a team fight anytime soon. I say that, Armel. His orb got spotted. Hyde, he's going to run into Bok. He gets the cogs off with the battery assault. There's not much Bok can do apart from Spirit Siphon. He'll go for the Yules, Armel. Thinking about helping out. They spear him away. There's a call out, but Armel, he's too late to the party. I don't think they can fight. Or maybe they can. Gabby, he's going to join in. It clips up in 2 seconds. Egg on the high ground, though. They need to back immediately. Maybe you can argue maybe the egg was unnecessary, but I think for Boom, they just want to disengage after securing a nice kill onto Bok. It's exactly what they get. They'll go chill out for a bit till that egg's off cooldown. Though I say that, Gabby, he's going to run right into Makoto. A nice spear out taken by Armel. Armel, he blinked right into it. Makoto, he's going to be all right. Gabby will pop the BKB and turn around with the Eclipse now. FBZ at least goes down, but they are still going to go for more as Boomy builds himself for a second. That'll be enough. They don't have the catch. Still a worthwhile trade for Boom as they found Armel for FBZ. I have to say that's worth.
Definitely worth. Boom are just finding the targets they need to in these fights, and because Gabby had to use the BKB and Eclipse, you can expect the Luna not to show up in the next few engagements for at least 2 minutes. So it's a big opening for Boom. If they want to look to go for the next Arena Egg combo in about a minute, the Luna's not going to be quite ready to face up against that. And they're still stalling out for the PL. He's actually managed to catch a point nicely. Now Dream Assault's above Armel's farm. Our puck has slowed down. They need to find a way to recover, although Kezcute.
Yeah, Kezcute, that was a bit off. Yeah, I think he wanted to just secure the TD rune, but he Icarus dived a bit off target. Gabby took a very nice easy kill for himself. Easy Lucent Beam. Now TNC, they just won't stop this aggression. Even if they lose those last team fights, they do not care. Ultis are back up, they want to try and make use of them. But of course, Boom Esports, they know this. Without the Phoenix, it seems like they don't want to fight, but they're going to have to now. The Roshan has been started. You've got the arena. Egg is available in 3 seconds. They just need to make their way over, but the Roshan is dropping so darn low so quickly. They've got to make the jump in. Rocket Flare's going to give vision. They're trying to block the way for the Clockwork and the Aegis. It is going to go the way of Gabby. Now, Boom, they need to dissipate. They do not want to fight this, or maybe they do. They're onto Armel with the hook shot, but there's no follow-up. Hyde buying some space for the rest of his team to back. That's exactly what he does. Everyone else gets out. Hyde, he'll sacrifice his life.
It's a great set of pickups for TNC. Aegis means that Gabby's going to feel a little bit comfier up front. You can see Boom, they're still grouped up though. They have the Arena Egg combo.
Nice spear, Gabby.
Oh, Gabby.
He's been called out. He just got the Aegis of the Immortal. He's going to BKB up and try to run, but they might be able to get him in time. Yule Scepter's there. Dream Missile's not done on the arena. No, it's going to be just enough time on the BKB to run out as now Bok is in danger, dropping so darn low underneath the sun itself. They found the DP, it seems like. Though Bok is a tanky boy. Spirit Siphon out. He's going to try and run, but no, they do end up getting him in the end. At the very least, you got Gabby out. He did have the Aegis anyway, but you got him out with the Aegis.
Yeah, it's just really greedy coming out from TNC. Like, there's this Obs Ward just constantly watching him in that area, and even the Obs Ward by the ramp area on the pit from Boom has just given him so much information to make those decisions, to make those jumps in. They were just camping that high ground for a fairly long time, so you do have to respect that Arena Egg combo. I think Gabby's just very fortunate that was his 8-second BKB charge. If it was any shorter, like literally the 7-second charge, he would have been caught in arena and dead. So just very on the edge there for TNC. They still maintain that lead, and boom, they're going to have to wait for cooldowns for that next combination to come in. But we're reaching the point where Dreamusel's getting a bit scary, Mike. He's got the SNY, but they do get the scan out, though. They know FBZ's in the tree line.
They do, but they miss out on the... Oh, no, they don't. Quail is there. Oh, no, he got just enough vision. Down FBZ. He's going to go for the arena, but it's not going to matter. Plenty of damage to burst him down in time. Nice pick up from TNC. I don't really think they're going to be able to find an objective of this, but maybe they could try just chipping down that tier 2 top tower. Maybe he'll get started on that work. Bottom lane,
though. Luna.
He's been scouted. They're not going to initiate. They'll leave him be. Mid lane, off. Very far forward, hook shot Hyde, right on the edge, but he does connect. Oh, it's a great hook shot from Hyde, but now the reinitiation Armel, he shows up. Who are they going to aim? They'll go after the clockwork, but can you lock him down? Lucent Beam is there, but Makoto, he'll be there to back him up, and so will Dreamucel with a couple of PL illusions. It will be enough to force TNC back the other way.
It's really tricky right now for TNC. Most of their damage is still magical. You're not at the point where the Luna's an absolute right-click beast, so you're relying on Lucent Beam to kind of melt through the HP a bit more. You're relying on Puck to help you melt these heroes a bit more as well, but there are a lot of Hood of Defiances on the side of Boom. We have one on Clockwork, one on Leshrac, on the PL. Our Morris doesn't have one, and you do have the Glimmer Cape on Kescute. So literally 4 out of 5 heroes have magic resist of some sort, and that is slowing the pace of TNC's rotations. TNC, though, as you mentioned earlier, they don't seem to care. They just smoke up and keep hunting.
Top lane, FBZ, defensive arena has been placed against Gabby, but they still might be able to come up. In fact, they found Makoto. They found a better target. They still know FBZ's around somewhere. Oh, no, he's going to have a gander through the tree line. Is he a champion hide-and-seek player? That orb. Oh, they found him. Your Scepter up, calls down with the coil. It was too early. It won't matter. They've got the enchant. They'll get the kill, and they're onto the top tier 2 tower now. Great set of events here from TNC, and for Boom Esports, this is a big problem because TNC, they're going to push high ground. They'll try to force the buybacks. Makoto doesn't have one. FBZ, he certainly doesn't want to have to commit it if he can avoid it. He may have no choice in the matter.
Yeah,
there it is.
They've got Aegis for about 20 seconds more here, so they can't afford to put Gabby up front. They've got Eclipse ready too. Only the tier 3, so not really finding more, and I think they're going to play it safe. They know Aegis is about to expire. They already forced a buyback. That's more than enough considering the circumstances. You do have to kind of worry if this game goes long. I can't believe I'm saying that, but Dreamucel, he's got the Ag Shard. He's going into the heart. You know what's going to come after that. More than likely the Octarine. We'll see how long it takes, but this is a really good way to handle that high ground defense. So as long as Dreamucel hits those strides, you can hold high ground for a very long time. And boom, despite that buyback, they are actually smoking up as 4.
Yeah. It's the element of surprise, right? You wouldn't expect this kind of smoke rotation to happen. That's exactly what Boom's going for. Problem is, they don't have any vision on anyone. Everyone's just fine on TNC, and it seems like TNC has kind of sniffed this out. In fact, Armel's going to rejoin the team. They might counter smoke. There's a team waiting for that initiation from Boom, but it never comes. There's a team, though, just in case, behind Gabby. Boom has backed off.
They recognize that it's a bit of an awkward spot to start fighting. There's an obs here in the triangle finally watching the movements of TNC. No sentry out, so if they do choose to smoke, I think ideally get the D ward first, but they have this cliff ward from TNC, so maybe they feel like there's no vision. Probably a bad time to smoke. actually do so. Oh, Mikado.
Gabby, and the great hook shot. Arena speared down. They've already found Bok as well. He's going to use Scepter up. Now Earthspike's there, stunning them up. Gabby, he'll get the BKB off in time. He's going to try and fight back like a Giga Chad. He'll just stand and fight. Mikado, he's going to try, but they can't get him. He'll force stuff away, but no. Dreamer Cell from the side does manage to pick him off into another. They'll get Boomy. There's no buyback on Gabby. Dreamer Cell and the crew, can they get something done with this? The pings are out for that bottom tier 2 tower.
Really good creep cutting from Armel to ensure that the mid's not under threat. So they'll have to just settle with a bot. And that should still open up the outpost for them to deny some XP per minute. That should help them kind of even out the progression here from Doomsend. Dreamcell just wrapping around. I didn't think they expected Dreamcell to be anywhere remotely close. So a really good surprise move from him. It looked good for TNC at the start, but just kind of faltered at the end. Dropped way too low on that Luna. I'm surprised we're not seeing Gabby go for something like the Satanic. Not just for the Dispel, but actually for the Lifesteal. You can't man fight as a Luna without some form of Lifesteal. So I think damage is not an issue. This Daedalus Rush is nice, but again, I think a Satanic would do you more good here.
See, he's still grouped up. They'll take their outpost back. I think the Satanic would be quite impactful, John, but that's not going to be the case. They want the damage output. Daedalus build up from Gabby. It's only going to hurt quite a bit once he gets to work. They're going to sit back as well. Just take their time. Allow Dreamer Cell his own time to farm up as he's very close to that Heart of Tarask now. Yeah, a much tankier hero, but Roshan's up. TNC, smoked as 5. They want to start a fight. Could also try to sneak the Roshan if they feel really brave. It's Boom, they are across the map, but they're also going to counter smoke. Smoke on smoke situation. Roshan scouted by Tim's, Rocket Flare. Not going to give any info, but the fact that Roshan is up. But once it wears off, TNC, they might be able to smoke, rather just start this. But they won't. The Rocket Flare. Vision of Armel and Boomy in the pit, and now Boom. Feeling very confident, moving up FBZ. He saw Tim's for a second.
Got that board.
About going to get the vision on FBZ. Very tense scenario between these two teams. As you really don't want to give up that second Roshan. There's so much value. And just neither one really going to start the fight this time. They haven't found the opening.
No, don't smoke here. They're clumped up. This ramp ward is still up somehow. 2 sentries around it have not reached in range. And it's just giving Boom all the information they need. They know where TNC is clumping around. They fortunately do not smoke, so that is good news. They smoke further out. Very smart. Scans out. That is a dire scan, but they're not in the pit. So this smoke could still shape up to something more. But look at Boom's positioning. They're just always by the triangle, always on the opposite side of the map. No opportunities for TNC to actually get that pick off.
Say that, John. Mid lane, Boom Esports, they have the low ground. They're running right into TNC, but Makoto, he's broken the smoke. He got the BKB off in time in the arena. It's not going to catch anyone. They still want Tims, but TNC, you know they want to reinitiate now, Armel. He won't find a cool target. They've popped the Exorcism. They're going to try and rush the Roshan. No arena. It's going to make it much harder to get a nice egg off in this team fight. Boom, they can't allow this to go down for free. In the pit hide, he's going to try with the Roshan. It hasn't died yet. It's complete chaos for Gabby. He outpicks everybody. Dreamer Cell will go to the backside and start the fight, but Gabby, he's already got an FBZ. Rescued. He got the full egg duration off, but it means nothing as Gabby eats the cheese, survives another day. Back on a Makoto, but the cogs Hyde will buy more space. It won't matter though, Makoto's down. And Gabby will keep to work, still Dreamer Cell. He wants to fight. Gabby still going after Hyde. The clockwork just about to fall, and it looks like they will be able to get him surely, just barely. And in the end, Dreamer Cell, he's the only one left. A full team wipeout for TNC, and they got absolutely everything from the pit.
Oh,
everything.
That was right on the edge. Right on the edge from Gabby. He managed to clear out the inventory. I'm surprised he actually managed to do that. I think the cheese was left on the ground, and he managed to just eat the ag shard because it was coming in from his backpack. He ate the shard and then managed to pick up the cheese. Right on the edge, right when he was dropping below that threshold. And boom, that was a very costly forced fight. They jump in on the back of that hook shot that doesn't actually catch him. And look at that. Gabby knows it's a Luna. You can skip these objectives. You can just go for the tier 4s, go for the throat, and pressure for buybacks. Unfortunately, Boom's not biting the bait. So they're not going to fully commit for the buybacks, but this will still lead to a couple of racks if you're not careful.
You still might want to try FBZ. Glimmer K may save the day, but no, Tim's is in. They get the Hex. There's your buyback. Dreamer Cell already committing as he'll rush towards Gabby. I don't know if you can fight though. The coil gonna lock him down. Arena defensively placed. Doesn't matter. Dreamer Cell, he's still leashed, but he's alive as he will go back off. For a snipe in, Kesku trying to slow them down. They want to catch a straggler. They need to make this buyback worth it. But can they find anyone? Boomy, he is caught. That's not going to be the greatest target. They might just have to accept what they get, but that's all they're going to get. If you're TNC, you're happy with that. You force the Dreamer Cell buyback, and they only get an Enchantress out of it.
It's a really big win. That is a dieback in your Ench, but not the biggest loss in the world. You hold on to your Aegis. You can wait for this BKB to be back up. Gabby is, again, just going full damage, going for the Butterfly next, it looks like, after the Daedalus, which is still just being kept in the Secret Shop. So even more protection. The evasion's really going to annoy the PL. Like, he's nowhere near thinking about a Bloodthorn. He's nowhere near an MKB. The illusions do get the Pierce, apparently, but not the damage. But nowhere near any of those. So if this Butterfly is built up by Gabby at a decent rate, not only is he hitting faster, but he is so well protected from those illusions. Dreamer Cell's going to have a bit of a rough time getting his own damage off. I'm actually really happy to see this from Dreamer Cell, though. Like, he got the heart done, right? He's got the shard, but he's not going Octarine, Mike. He's going Scotty. So more stats, more tankiness for the illusions, I suppose, and not the spam. I actually, honestly, this feels like a game where you might want to go Octarine, actually. No, but it's the defense. You try to justify it with the defense. I think it does make sense. You spam it out on the high ground. It'll bounce around and you just build an army. Then again, I don't think the Luna particularly cares. Outside of burning mana, it doesn't do too much to Gabby anyway, so probably for the best.
I mean, it makes sense. I do agree the high ground defense with the Shard Doctrine is incredible. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think Dreamer Cell would rather be able to really get in there and fight for the team than have to rely on those lances. Maybe later on, we'll see. TNC back into the Dire Jungle. They'll take the outpost.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful, Mike. Dagon 5 up on Armel with a Quickening Charm. Cooldown at 13 seconds for how much of a nuke? 800 damage nuke at 13 seconds. Beautiful. Great.
Good.
Perfect.
Basically like a finger, but just 13 seconds instead of, 100.
Yep. That's what it is. Really good item. And they're applying pressure on the high ground. Again, they have Aegis for a lot longer. So it should be a relatively quick push. It's a Luna. You can't really stop these racks from falling.
Well, there goes your range racks. In they go, Armel. Not throw out the coil yet. Gabby's got the shards as well, don't forget. And with that Daedalus, those bouncers can do a lot of damage if you're not too careful. I believe he's critting for about 800 right now.
God.
Not going to be able to fully commit. Gabby shows up in the mid lane, but even with the Aegis, you can tell they really just want to be careful and not to throw this game away, and there's the Aegis expiring anyway. So just nice timing from TNC to back off. Play clean. Boom Esports, on their part, they're going to smoke up. They want to try and take advantage of this fact The Aegis is now no longer there. Gabby, he's the closest target. Hyde, he did not get vision. Good flare. Not gonna catch anyone. Gabby, oh, he's gonna run into Hyde. Hook shots up, but they aren't gonna pop it. Where's that BKB anyway? He's not that easy of a kill to just kind of burst down on this Luna. You want the backlines first. Mel gonna break his own smoke onto the Phoenix. Be a nice start to try and blow up Kezcute. There's the Earth Spike. Hook shot, Arena. Four-man Arena, in fact, into the egg now. But they've got the Eclipse out. Gabby is gonna try and fight this one out. They've lost Tims. They've lost Kezcute. Can they keep going? Boom, they're going to try. They will rush forward onto Boomy. Meanwhile, Brock dropping very, very low on that DP, but still fighting it out. Makoto dropping low himself. These Dagons are so damn painful, but Gabby is in big, big trouble. There's the egg out from Kezcute. It won't mean much. Boomy, he does drop 3 for nothing. Or rather, 3 for 1 as FPZ just about to die, but he will survive as Brock. He's been caught. Oh my, man. TNC. That was a 4 for 1. They do get the buyback from Kezcute. That was about it, though.
Yeah, that's painful for TNC. Boom execute really nicely on that fight. It looked bad because their smoke broke and they didn't quite find the angle, but they managed to isolate out Gabby. Now, Gabby hits 25 in the middle of that fight, so he gets the life steal talent. Still not enough to out-sustain and kind of heal true. All the damage coming out from everyone else. And boom, and the 4-man arena was just too much. And you lost your line super quick. High ground's not going to take too long. It's a Leshrac, it's a PL, they can melt quite nicely. Armel's trying to split with a DD, but the puck just doesn't right-click and melt objectives the same way as Leshrac did.
Esports on the verge of a comeback here in Game 3. I suppose they weren't really that far behind, but you'd lose 2 range racks already. It certainly felt like TNC were in charge of this game as Armel. He's going to respawn. Does not have the coil to throw out. Hear the wave. Back out of there. There you go, John. You got what you asked for. Dreamercell, he is now going to buy the Octarine core.
Oh, great. This is when it gets spicy. Still a ways off, but he's actually so hard to kill. Like, the damage output from Gabby is still really good, but it doesn't feel like Gabby really focuses on the peel as much. They try to clean up everyone else first, get the isolation off, and kind of go from there. Illusionist Cape for Gabby is nice, but you also have an Illusionist Cape on Boom, so looks like Ice Frog isn't playing favorites here, Mike. Everyone gets a cape.
Feels pretty broken on both carries, right? Like, Peel plus a Luna. Why the hell not? And both get spell prisms. Fair enough.
Wow. This is the most even tier 4s I've seen trading between 2 teams. Like, we almost never see that. I guess the telescope is kind of meh for Boom. I think you really would rather, I don't know, a Minotaur Horn sounds like it would be really good. So maybe that's what drops last for Boom. TNC, they're all pretty much set in tier 4s. They can start saving up. I think Gabby will need to save for buyback along with that Satanic buildup. He is going for it. So he skips the Butterfly, wants the Satanic next. Don't know what you really slot out from your inventory, though. Maybe you swap around your boots, pop Satanic, swap them back in. You are fairly susceptible to being kited without move speed here.
Wrap around, boom, smoked up. In the Radiant Triangle. Rocket Flare gonna get some great vision and hook shot into Block. Arena is gonna be off target though. FBZ completely whiffed it, and now they've lost height to start the fight. The Kono's still gonna go for this with Dreamercell, but can they really fight? 4v5, they're gonna try. Tim's falling very, very low, but not low enough as Gabby trying to fight as well, but the spear is out. FBZ, he does redeem himself in the end. Gabby should drop, gets the Eclipse off. How is he not dead yet? Gabby, he's gonna back out of there. Kezcute, he wants to get the job done, but he can't get him. They can't kill him off. How does Gabby survive that?
25 pound. He just had the life steal, just enough damage flying through. I think the Scotty, if he had the debuff on, must have faded at some point. Like, they stopped hitting him on the PL. So he just manages to heal back up, forces the 2 big buybacks, and Roshan is back up. With a refresh, this is big. They could go for an Exo refresh on a high ground push. They could go for a double Dream Coil refresh for a team fight. They could go for Eclipse instead. And this is going to open up a lot of opportunities for TNC. They know Bloods and Walk. They know the buybacks forced out are big. And if they can catch either of these heroes out, you are in for a world of pain. As even Armel finishes up his hags now.
Look at that bot rune, John. There's a bottle just waiting for Gabby right now. Look, they just left the bottle there. Just...
Whose is that? Armel. Oh, he didn't swap in.
Yeah, Gabby's like, who the hell cares? There's 2 heroes down, no buyback on either. Let's just rush. Rush through the mid. See if we can get it done. Boom Esports, they need to defend this to keep their TI10 dreams alive. TNC, they want a rematch against Fnatic, who are waiting in the grand finals right now. Gabby, he'll get started on the mid ranks. Not going for the T4s, FBZ, he's in a nice arena, and Speed does connect onto Gabby. Hookshot is there as well. Permastun's out, but it's not going to be enough. Gabby, he'll turn around now, back on a hide. They'll get the clockwork. No buyback available, but they do get the Aegis off Gabby. 1 more life for Gabby. The spear doesn't latch onto the cogs. Split Earth will connect. Fakoto trying to hold him down. They'll even hand the cheese over to Gabby now. He has a bit of a secondary life. Dream himself, a lot of damage being dealt. Pops the BKB on that Luna, and they want to retreat. They might have to come back another time as Boom Esports. They're not going to make it easy. They still hold that mid-melee barracks. TNC, even with an 18k net worth lead, they know not to throw against Boom. It's just too risky right now.
Not a situation where you want to risk it all, as we do get another pause. Flaming Dreamo Cell. Thank you, Armel.
I mean, it
Prime
is true.
opportunity for Merienda.
Indeed, it is Merienda time. You keep mentioning it. It is certainly a good time to get it. And of course, Boom having a donut. TNC, we have no idea what they're eating, but maybe if they win this series, we can kind of have a peek behind them, see what kind of food they've got in the background. I think I saw Motivate Trust, even though they got kicked out very early, they were having like lobsters and crabs afterwards.
Had a feast. Yeah, that was insane. A hell of a lot of crabs and lobsters. Like, dang, I haven't had that in a while. You know, there's a unique crab from my dad's hometown. It's called curacha. I think I forget what they're called in English. They're a nice, long, fat crab, and normally you cook them up with, I don't know what it's called, alavar sauce, which I believe is like crab fat and butter and something. It's very decadent, very rich, and I miss it. Just a fun fact. Very good seafood here. Great stuff.
Thank you, John. If I ever need a food critic, I'll know who to call. Thank you for that. Boom Esports. Thank you for that. Boom Esports. I mean, they're still in this game, John. It's an 18k net worth deficit, but when you defend that high ground, it doesn't seem like the net worth matters. You've still got the Octarine to come out on Dreamer's Cell. Gabby's still going for a butterfly and should have it up pretty soon, but he doesn't really have space for it. Because you can get rid of the cheese. It's oh, actually, towards the north. Oh, they caught out there. Got down somebody. It's going to be Armel. They're trying to get a stun off, but it's like he is going to be fine. They committed a lot for that. Arena and Hook are both down. And another pause, Tims. Still having some FPS issues.
Yeah, it's something that has plagued us since the update, but you know how it is. Just grind and bear it, Mike.
Yeah. At least it's not
it's not internet issues.
I mean, if there was a brood with a pipe in this game, we would all be screwed.
Every single time that pops on, it just lags out. Even my 2080 is like, can't deal with that. It's too much. Like, dang.
60 gang here. Shout out to all you guys with that. What can you do, John? There's no cards out there. What can you do? It is it's a great card. Except when I'm doing production, I can't run anything. But you know, apart from that.
Oh, we've got to get you hooked up somehow, Mike. Someday.
Yeah, someday. Not now, though.
I mean, I guess you're emulating like the Dota 1 experience, aren't you? Like lower polys, lower res, get those FPS up. The old days of Dota.
Ah, good old days, John. Don't call them the old days. The good old days is the way you meant to phrase it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You could run.
You
You
might
could
as
run
well
it on
also
anything.
remap. True. You should remap your keys to get the full experience. Go back to legacy keys. See how you do with that.
I ran legacy keys for quite a while until I realized you could kind of alter them. I think it was like a full year before I actually found out you could change it. It was a hell of an
Really?
experience. Yeah, I was a bit of an idiot, John. I didn't pick up on it.
Uh, oh, Hyde actually asked what patay means. So anyone who doesn't know, patay means dead. Right, so they're yelling there, ay, patay ata to. It's like, oh, I think he's dead, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead, 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 dead. That's all they're yelling. So it's always fitting when TNC spams it, but good to see that it only took until lower bracket game 3 for Hyde to ask that. It's a fairly long time. There were a lot of Filipino teams they played, but they finally know. Very nice.
Very good indeed. Speaking of lines, I mean, where's the voice lines? I haven't heard anything as of yet. It's been a TNC, they've been going at it, but Boom Esports very, very quiet. I haven't heard a voice line from them.
They haven't used the Maukimana boss. They haven't used Ratachin. They haven't used Et the Bang. I don't know. I think they're so focused. You know, they're on the line. They're hanging by an edge.
Oh,
they need to
FBZ
focus for this game.
Coils out. Yule Scepter gonna buy him a bit of time. Earth Spike does land. Now the Exorcism hook shot trying to save. It's probably not gonna be enough. They've lost FBZ and Makoto. He's gonna run. They're gonna drop the egg and buy back. They'll go for the team fight. But can they lock anyone down? They've only got Bok, but he'll Yule Scepter up as well. He'll survive, but there's your arena. FBZ gonna try and turn it. Eclipse out Gabby. He's gonna go for the fight, but there's so many illusions around that the Eclipse does no damage. It's now Dreamer Cell rushes for the Luna. Boomy gonna try and back as well as Armel. Keeps the rest of the team from Boom from proceeding further. Couple buybacks. But once again, Boom will hold the high ground. They are 2 Raxes down. That third Rax is still safe. All 5 heroes are up. It was a buyback each from each team. I think it's going to be about the next Roshan for both teams, John, but it's going to be about 3.5 minutes till we even find out when that's coming up. I think TNC, maybe they don't want to risk waiting that long.
Yeah, it feels like they might be under a bit of pressure. They're the ones playing aggressive. I think the big issue right now is that the Luna damage isn't flying out. You only get 6 bounces on your waves. Look at how many illusions Dreamer Cell has at one time. It's not 6. So it's so hard to find a real PL. And that's where the back and forth between the Luna and PL kind of come into play. It's like, I am not scratching Dreamo Cell unless we kill the entire team first and then focus on the PL. But that's how TNC's been doing it the past, I don't know, 20 minutes now. Like, they clean up the team fight and then they isolate the PL, put him on an island, and that's when they can really focus in. So they're going to need to find a way to drag Boom out to that awkward position and force that out. We've been going long enough that it feels like buyback should be coming off cooldown again. It's still a ways off, about 2 minutes at the lowest for most, and 6 minutes for the other side.
There it is, John. 3-second cooldown Spirit Lance with Shard is now online.
Oh yes, beautiful. 4.5 second Doppel as well. So how do you lock this guy down? I don't know.
That's fine.
And this is the eternal defense.
Why not? Another double damage rune going to be scouted out here by Boomy. You'll leave that for Gabby, I'm sure. Rocket Flare to scout out the Roshan, but again, it's very, very early for the Rocket Flare. Still 2 minutes till we find out when Roshan respawns. Gabby, he's got the bottle. He'll bottle the DD up this time, so he can save it for a while. It seems like TNC has kind of reserved themselves to just waiting out this third Roshan, or rather fourth Roshan. And they're high ground anyway. They're not budging. They're putting up an immovable wall with these PO illusions. You've got to fully commit if you want to take that final lane of barracks here from Boom.
Getting really hard to pierce that high ground. We do have the butterfly up on Gabby now, so he's got some evasion to help himself tank up. Of course, the added damage is always nice as well. And they just need to find a way to make use of that. Honestly, it feels like Gabby's going to need to hit the next talent spike in his levels. like get that move speed talent, so you can definitely just sell your boots, and you feel a lot comfier. Like you'll have additional backpack space to swap God knows what around. As Boom, they managed to venture outside of base, take out the outpost to get some XP per minute back. This exposes their racks a bit though. They're forced to fortify here.
Yeah, Gabby, he popped the DD rune, and there's the exorcism. They're fully committing. It's now Armel in the backside. Got the Aeon Disc, but FBZ, he got Gabby for a second. AB was there. Tier 3 still standing. Pretty much come back for that anytime as TNC. They could just send the Lunar Illusions in. That's exactly what they're doing right now. Slowly chip away at the Tier 3. 29 HP for that poor tower. But it does survive a bit longer.
Yeah, it's stalling the game out. Boom's still holding on. Next Roche in 15. We'll find out how long that respawn will be in a short while. So things are looking up and up. Dream Cell, level 28, so has the 2 additional talents now. Minus 3 seconds Spirit Land CD is already there. Already has the evasion on top, so his own illusions are feeling a lot tankier, or at least himself is feeling a lot better now. And you don't have any evasion pierce from TNC. Not like 16% is massive, but you do have another pause here. Lag issue this time.
Yeah. I mean, 16%, it's not massive, but it could be the difference, right? Like that one hit before death, maybe it misses. You just never know. It's not like Dream Missile has a choice anyway. He has to take the talent. He's level 28 now. So it's, eventually, I mean, any talent just helps. So you'll take it. TNC, level 27 Gabby. Some decent talents himself. Plus 25 movement speed, really not that bad. Plus 8 all stats, you know, kind of negligible. I guess the mini stun can be quite nice as well. Anything that just kind of gives you that extra edge never really hurts, but I think both teams now got to focus on that Roshan, which has respawned.
Yeah.
Problem is for Boom, you can't really leave the base. That's the problem.
Nah. I mean, they have 2 lanes that just constantly shove out. It's going to be really hectic to try and get out there. TNC can probably clear that in pretty fast time, and they are smoked up. So they're in a good position to maybe look to force something out, or just straight up take a Roche. Again, that's the full complement. Cheese, refresh, Ag's Blessing. I wonder who they actually pass a couple of those things. I guess Ag's would be good, although.
Im's quick blink away, Mel quick blink in, wants to burst down the clockwork, FBZ to spear from the low ground, but they got Hyde. He's gonna buy back, they want to go for the fight, Egg committed, Bok, he'll refresh, go for the exorcism, onto Gabby they go, Dream Missile trying to commit all the way, but they need some lockdown, Gabby, hook shot, not gonna be on the mark, Hyde, he missed everyone, Fingers there, Gabby's gonna turn around, they'll get the tie back, the clockwork's down, Dream Missile though, still trying to fight us now, the arena, will look to them in, they've got Boomy, and they get Bok on the DP, his Aeon Disc is gonna proc, he'll Yulsef through up, he'll try to make a run as they fight around the Roshan pit now, but buyback is also there from Boomy. 5v4 scenario. Teams know the Roshan's up. Be about it though.
I'm looking at Armel right now. He's queuing an overwhelming blink on Puck. Not a swift blink for the right click down the line. Not an arcane blink. Overwhelming blink. I guess just prioritizing more stats, really feeling like he needs more strength, which is fair. Doesn't really have enough slots as the Puck to swap around, especially since he's a bottle carrier, pocketing those double damages.
It might be a bit of extra damage as well for the PL illusions. The slow never hurts either. Like, I mean, it does seem kind of weird, but I guess it's all about just trying to shut down Dreamer's Soul.
Yeah, and just help identify the real one ASAP. And the damage output isn't great on a Puck. You don't have that much strength to begin with, but I guess anything's better than nothing as they do start to rush. Boom still in position here, but no hook. Oh,
they gone. Was Armel for a second. It's back off. Roshan still dropping. Makoto gonna try and run in, but it's just so hard without the clockwork vision. Coil's there. They've locked down 2. They'll snap the leash, but they just want the Roshan. TNT going back in as Armel holds them back. Kescute, he couldn't get there in time. They use him up. They've got the Phoenix under control with the Aeon Disc. Gonna buy more time as he forces us up the hill. And Armel's still in the chase. With that day gone out, the Phoenix, the McCabe might save him for a little bit more time, but not for long. It's Icarus dive. Not going to be enough. Armel does take the kill. No buyback on Kescute. You've got everything from that second, or rather fourth Roshan on TNC. All 4 items. That time they try for that high ground again, I think.
Yeah, they have a lot of tools on hand. They've got the free Ags upgrade on Gabby. So the orbital cannon is in play. And that could be helpful. That could be really helpful in helping identify the PL in that next engagement. They've got a refresh sitting as well there on Gabby. So double eclipse in a pretty wide area is now a possibility. They do only have that one set of racks to kind of clear up. If they can throw Gabby in there, it's not going to last for long.
There's that area denial from Makoto, though, to make it a little bit more challenging as Gabby just trying to get into the gap. He does get stunned up for a second, but he's just going to go for the mega creeps. He really wants those Raxes down. Another stun out. He's still all right as the Bloodthorn now being thrown out on Gabby. Still fine, however. More stuns to come out. Gabby, he might lose his first life if he's not careful. He'll try to heal up, but there's just so much stuff flying the way of this Luna. Another stun from Makoto. He just can't escape them. They're going to go for the fight, but they've lost the Aegis now. The Luna's down. They've got 1 Rax to go. The 4 Megas are up, but the arena is there. The split earth's around Gabby. Can he survive this? No, he's down. They've got the Luna, and now the egg will be committed. Armel needs to back out. Meanwhile, Boomy going to get chased down by Dreamer's Cell. And they take down the Enchantress. Not quite. On the other side, Armel still trying to get an escape plan going for himself. But FBZ, he's on the chase. Be away. No blink up on FBZ. He does have buyback, so they can't really rush for anything. They could certainly try and force the buyback out of this Luna. I just don't think they'll have enough time with all the creep skipping potential that you've got with Armel.
It's pretty difficult. And they could just try to body the bot lane, but it looks like they're just going to take this time to maybe get some farm up themselves, stall out for a buyback. They're only really lacking Dreamercell and Hide. Hide by timer, Dreamercell by gold. So needs 900 more on PL. Be safe.
Oh, no, he's playing with fire now. He's going to be alright. He'll orb away. Do you want to wait for the tier 5 items if you're Boom Esports? And maybe you have no choice.
Yeah, at this point, you're like, all right, we're 26k down, 56 minutes in. Our PL is in a very weird matchup against Luna, where Luna feels like she can and also can't handle the PL. And I think you might as well wait 60 minutes. I don't think the game changes too much for either side in terms of farming up in the next 4 minutes. So, yeah, you could look for that slight advantage in that time period. Of course, you run the risk of TNC finding something like, say, a Ballista. That has been pretty game-changing on the range cores. And, of course, if you get a Ballista on Boom, no one can use that. Leshrac Ballista? Phoenix Ballista? They both sound like absolute turds. So there's that risk that TNC can make use of those items just a little bit better.
Quite a few very nice items. Like, you wouldn't mind something like the Force Boots either. Considering how late we are, Fallen Sky could be very nice for Dreamer's Cell. We got the Giant Ring, the Ex Machina. Even the Mirror Shield could be quite decent here against all the disables you have with the Lion. Very, very impactful. I would agree that Ballista could be quite scary if Gabby does pick one up. Even the pure damage you can deal with that, it's kind of ridiculous, just the plus 50 pure damage. But that might be the extra damage he requires to be able to deal with Dreamer's Cell with these PL illusions.
Just kind of busted. And the attack range, especially in something like a Luna, right? Like, she has a pretty atrocious range. That just helps you kind of sit back more. It almost doubles Luna's range, which is pretty ridiculous, considering that's her shortcoming as a range hero. So that could be big.
He has a Hurricane Pike in the backpack as well. If he wants
right, yeah, that's why it's short. Yeah, there you go.
If he wants to sub both of them in.
Goodness me. This is we're reaching that point. You know, this is what we were looking for, right? Like we said, the last time these teams played, they had a 66, 46, and 77-ish minute game. Here we are. This is what we were expecting, and this is what we're getting. We just need to see if anyone gets impatient, but it doesn't look like it. Everyone's being really patient, just securing their jungle areas. Maybe both teams now realize, all right, let's wait. Easy peasy. Grab some Miranda. You don't need to be too active right now.
Some pressure though, John. I mean, you could be just a couple minutes away from securing your ticket to the grand final. Up against Fnatic, who are just patiently watching and waiting for their opponent. And that opponent still is not very clear whatsoever. As we're about 1 minute and 10 seconds away from those tier 5 items coming up. TNC, they should have first dibs on those tier 5 items, as they are the ones still controlling the map here. Boom. It would be a bit of a struggle to get out of the base at that 60-minute mark, and you can already see TNC ensuring that all the waves are just pushed in constantly. Someone's going to try and have to sneak out to secure some of the tier 5s for the team. You can get a massive advantage from those items. They're waiting. I mean, Gavi's got 10k in the bank. Plenty of gold for the buyback. He could buy Divine if he really wants to. But they'll get prepared. They'll just take over the jungle. 30 seconds. We'll see how lucky TNC can get.
Yeah. They've got the majority control of Boom with smoke.
They're not waiting. They want to go right now. Find a target. Oh, Gabby. He breaks the smoke. They haven't spotted him. Now they do, but they want to go the other way. They don't want to engage on the Luna. Instead, they'll try for Armel, but he goes for the phase shift. He's going to be all right. They'll rush back in. Premasil trying to get some form of damage out. Coil going to like both, or rather lock both of them in. Now the Squidward's come out, but on the backside, they've lost Cascade on the Phoenix. Hook shot in. Hyde. He's going to try and help out. Premasil. He's been caught out. The fingers there. They burst them down, but they will buy back Makoto. He's still trying to fight by himself. They need to go and back him up ASAP. He is dropping quite low, and it looks like they will finally be able to get him a hill buyback as well. All 5 buybacks from Boom Esports. It's TNC. They are still very healthy. They could keep going, but they're going to go back with the T5 items. Here we go, John.
Oh,
Ex Machina.
Oh my god. Oh boy. First one, Ex Machina. Refresh Satanic, refresh BKB if you want. It is so good. The armor is pretty decent too, considering it's a PL you're playing against. 25 armor at this point is not as much EHP because of how armor stacking works and how physical resist and, to a certain extent, magic resist works, but still really useful. Force boots as well, pretty nice. Stygian for Boom is pretty bad.
There it is.
Fallen Sky at least comes out as well, so both teams finding some decent stuff. The Stygian, I don't know who you hand that off to. I'm not sure if you even do pick that up. Maybe your Mars if you feel like you lack damage. Book of the Dead is pretty dead as well at this point, especially against a Luna. So that doesn't feel great, but I guess on Clockwork the stats are nice. So it's really just stats. I think TNC has the big picks, like Ex Machina, they've got Apex, Fallen Sky, and Force Boots. Like Gabby has mobility now. So he can kind of swap around after he pops the Illusionist Cape, go into the boots. HP regen's super nice as well in the middle of these fights. We've seen how tight Gabby's HP is. So I think TNC won out in that trade. Nothing silly like the Ballista or Giant Ring. It's still much more usable tier 5s compared to Boom. I mean, Book of the Dead. Like, okay, good stats and clock. That's it. Stygian on Mars is okay.
To note, John, they left Dreamersaur without one of those items. He's carrying the Illusionist Cape still. Instead,
it's too
Sky,
good on PL.
Yeah. Fallen Sky goes the way of the Leshrac, though. Which is still pretty nice, I reckon.
Armel?
Armel, he's in. He's been caught out, though. FBC, he's there with Irina Spear. It won't be enough, though. Armel's still alive. It's now Box being targeted. Oh, no, the egg. Armel, he got caught out. He went back into it. Gabby, he's been left behind. They need to retreat. They've lost him to the Lion. Gabby, the split up comes in. They lock him down again on the Luna. They're going to have to buy back. Box still fighting. They need to get here ASAP. Aeon disc proc. They jump in again, Armel. He's rejoined the team fight. Coil on the backside. Dream himself in trouble. Getting very low. More stuff not going to be enough. They dig on him down. They'll get the second buyback. Wind Waker on Makoto. It's probably not going to be enough. They'll keep the chase up. This game is looking very over now as they fall.
Oh my god.
TNC, they've done it. The GG's been called. They get the 2-1 victory, and we have a rematch in the grand final for the SEA TI10 qualifiers. It'll be Fnatic against TNC. The classic matchup of SEA Dota once again.
Yeah, it's the classic endgame towards TI